Now at 9, Camp Quality in Monette is bringing the Christmas spirit to kids with cancer. Plus, locals get creative at a brunch and painting party in Webb City. And
airlines are hoping for minimal disruptions as we head into the heart of the holiday travel season this week. I'm Madison Scarpino in Atlanta. More on that coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Elise Snowy. The Kansas Supreme Court on Friday said a lawsuit challenging voting laws enacted in 2021 must be heard. It centers around a law that makes it illegal to, quote, give the appearance of being an election official, something that lawsuit calls overboard and unconstitutionally vague. Reporter Kel Chapman has more.
We are living to fight another day.
Martha Pint, the president of the League of Women Voters Kansas, says this ruling has been years in the making, but there's more that needs to be done.
It's a battle we won. It's not the war. You know, we felt confident all along that if we could just get our concerns aired before one of the courts, we feel very confident that we will come out ahead on this.
The law in question reads, false representation of an election official is knowingly engaging in any of the following conduct while not holding a position as an election official. Representing oneself as an election official, engaging in conduct that gives the appearance of being an election official, or engaging in conduct that would cause another person to believe a person engaging in such conduct is an election official. The League and 3 other nonprofit voting advocacy groups challenged the second and third points in court, saying even if they clearly identify themselves, because people could mistake them for election officials while holding voter registration drives, they risk being charged with a felony.
I was registering voters in Southeast Kansas a handful of years ago, and I've had people ask me, are you at the county clerk's office? Are you at the Secretary of State's office? It's harmless. I correct them and explain the situation. But under this law, that simple mistake of the listener, that then makes me a criminal.
An appeals court dismissed the case, saying the groups lacked standing. Today's decision by the state Supreme Court reinstates their suit and sends the case back to the appeals court for further proceedings.
Meteorologist Katie Frazier joins us for a first look at weather.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you had a wonderful Sunday. It was a bit of a warm day, at least for December, but we are going to be cooler tomorrow. The good news is we're going to be warming right back up. We'll also have some wind that will be tracking overnight. We'll also talk about your next chance of rain across the 4 states in just a few minutes here. We do have a weak cold front headed our way. It is going to drop our temperatures for us tomorrow. As you can see, it is just off to our northwest. It is expected to move in overnight. That's going to be the reason why we will see our winds pick up. Right now, we are calm in the southern portions of our region. Some folks up north are seeing winds close to 10 miles per hour, but we could see even stronger wind gusts over the next several hours. I'll let you know just how strong and how much cooler it will be tomorrow, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, we'll see you soon, Katie. The Webb City VFW today partnered with the First United Baptist Church to collect canned goods for area families ahead of Christmas. They boxed up donated items as well as a turkey, sugar, and eggs. More than 10 families received boxes this year.
This is part of what we do. Here we're both, American Legion and the VFW, and both of us, we try to help other veterans, and also we try to give back to our community, and this is a part of us trying to give back to our community. Today was the last day that canned food could be donated. AM Railroad and For the Kids Foster and Adoptive Parents Association partnered up to host a holiday train ride for families in Monette. Each train car had Christmas carols, and those in attendance enjoyed cookies and hot chocolate. Santa was also there to pass out goodie bags and to spread holiday cheer.
Yeah, the caboose is decorated for the Christmas run this year. They've got candy canes and lights and a Christmas tree and snacks and goodies and fun stuff like that.
The train ride lasted approximately 1 hour round trip going from Monette to Exeter, Missouri. Locals in Webb City area today had the chance to put their creativity skills to use at a brunch and painting party. Painters used a picture as a template for today's paint party and were encouraged to put their own artistic spin on their canvas. The event was hosted by Christine's Vineyard.
I start with the sketch. I usually try to give them something to work off of, and then from there they can look at what I painted and use that as a guide, but then they can get creative and do their own thing.
The Vineyard will also be holding a 1920s themed murder mystery event on New Year's Eve. The season of giving is upon us, and a local organization in Monette is giving back by helping bring the spirit of Christmas to kids with cancer. KOAM's Jasmine Knight has that story.
Camp Quality is a year-long support program that has a goal of letting kids with cancer be kids again.
And we just want to give them a safe place to come, to be comfortable, and just live life to their fullest.
For their annual holiday party, they chose Monette's YMCA, where kids can enjoy basketball, rock climbing, air hockey, ping pong, swimming, and more. For many, Camp Quality has meant so much to them.
We have been doing this for the past 25 years, I'd say. I've been involved for about 27 years. I was a camper at first, and now blessed to be able to be the director over it.
The special event had a few notable donors as well. Today's food was sponsored by the Christian Hetty Foundation, operated by KOAM's chief meteorologist, Doug Hetty. For the children involved, it makes a huge impact.
Well, it makes it way better whenever I get to meet other kids that have been through pretty much the same thing that I've been through. And it's like comforting that like we could talk about the same thing and they actually know what I'm like meaning and stuff.
Thanks to the Christian Hetty Foundation and Camp Quality, these kids with cancer were able to be kids again. Reporting in Monette, Jasmine Knight, KOAM News.
In the U.S., there are 17 total Camp Qualities, each one looking to create a better quality of life for kids going through these tough times. Coming up, how to keep your family physically and mentally healthy this holiday season. With temperatures dropping and people flocking indoors, it can be difficult to avoid seasonal illnesses. And this time of year can also take a toll on our mental well-being. But there are several things you can do to help ensure you and your loved ones stay healthy this season. Fox News' Gary Baumgarten reports.
It may be the most wonderful time of the year, but it can also be one of the most stressful for your mental and physical health.
We expect to see increases in things such as influenza and COVID, and we are seeing that according to the latest data. We've also seen quite a bit of RSV.
And while it's a season for gifting, the last present you want to give or receive is an illness.
We're more likely to share respiratory infections if we're coughing or sneezing just because we're so close to other people.
Besides frequently washing your hands and wearing a mask when traveling on public transportation, some medical experts also recommend you get your annual flu and COVID-19 shots before going to a holiday party.
You need to go through your insurance provider now for your COVID vaccine. So whereas before the federal government paid for everyone to get their COVID vaccine wherever they want it to go.
But with all the gatherings this season, it can be easy to spread yourself too thin.
Ask yourself some important questions. Do I have the bandwidth to attend this event? How will I feel if I attend the event? How will I feel if I don't attend the event? And the answers to those questions can guide you in terms of determining where you want to allocate your time.
All the hustle and bustle can also be tough on children.
Talking to your children about cognitive flexibility and the need sometimes to pivot to other things or to do things a little differently so that you can fit in as a family all of the events.
Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Not spending too much time on social media can have more benefits than you think. New research suggests it can even help improve work-life satisfaction. Analysts in Germany found that decreasing the time spent on social media can lead to positive results in your work life. They found people who reduced their social media use notably improved their job satisfaction and their mental health. Katie is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, airlines are preparing for a huge influx in travels for this coming week.
Happy Sunday, everyone. Here's a live look over downtown Joplin. It is a quiet night. This camera comes from Cornell, and we can appreciate the camera view. Not too many folks are out and about this evening, and it's quiet now, but I do expect our conditions to change over the coming hours. Today was not too bad of a day. In fact, our temperatures were about 10 degrees above average, so a little bit on the warm side for mid-December. Lows about average this time of year, but we are expecting cooler temperatures tomorrow. That's going to be due to a cold front moving in over the next several hours. Now, our lows overnight tonight aren't going to be too bad, but tomorrow they're going to be dipping down into the 20s. So as you can see, it's going to be a big difference from what we experienced today. Over the next several hours, temperatures will drop down to the 30s, and then our overnight low will be in the 30s as well. Let's talk about those winds that I had mentioned due to that cold front moving through the area. This is later on tonight, 10 o'clock, and you could see winds are only going to be around 15 to 20 miles per hour, at least the wind gusts. So not the sustained winds, but the occasional gusts that come on by. But in the overnight hours, you could see Monday, 5 o'clock in the morning, the winds really coming out of the northwest at anywhere from 30 to 35 miles per hour. For folks in Yates Center, Iola, Fort Scott will be feeling those winds early on tomorrow morning. Folks in Joplin, not too bad at 5 o'clock, but I do expect those winds to sweep through the entire area after 5 o'clock, likely between 10 o'clock. The good news is by lunchtime tomorrow, we can't expect those winds to die off once again. Wind speeds only around 15 miles per hour around lunchtime, and then they will actually calm down for your dinner time temperature tonight. So really going to be an overnight wind experience, and then those winds will clear on out of here by tomorrow evening. As far as rain goes, we're not looking at anything over the next several days, next several hours as well. So that's a good thing if you're not a fan of the rain, but if you are a fan of the rain chances are coming, don't worry. Now here's a breakdown of your temperatures tomorrow. You could see in the 30s for the morning, but then temperatures dropping down to the 40s due to that cold air moving on in across the 4 states. So we were almost at 60 degrees today. Tomorrow we're going to be about 20 degrees cooler than that. Back to work tomorrow, temperatures topping out in the 40s with those gusts up to 25 miles per hour. Even some areas seeing up to 35 miles per hour, but I don't think everyone's going to see that. So some things you might want to do, especially if the family's in town. You might want to stay inside, do some gift wrapping. Hopefully you already got your gift shopping done. Maybe watch a Christmas movie or bake some goodies with your family and friends. Quickly, your Christmas is looking like this. A bit of a change from yesterday. Rain chances have gone down. So instead of a soaking wet Santa, looks like we'll have just a damp Santa. Your next several days looks like this. Cooler tomorrow. By Tuesday, we will have a very low chance of rain, but Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that's when we are expecting widespread rain chances across the region. And then fortunately, we're looking drier by Christmas Day.
All right, thanks, Katie. Let's be getting to look a lot like Christmas at airports and on the highways across the country. Fox News correspondent Madison Scarpino has that story.
If you're traveling this week ahead of the holidays, you'll have plenty of company on the roads and in the skies.
What we're seeing is that travel demand has been off the charts all of 2023, and this holiday season is no different. We're also expecting this to be the busiest holiday at the airports.
Airlines are expecting a potentially record-breaking number of passengers this year as Christmas and New Year's approach, especially as Americans continue to get more comfortable with traveling post-pandemic.
I think this is like the first holiday season where it kind of feels normal, as normal as it could be.
We had a couple of years where we hardly traveled at all. So yeah, this is definitely a change for the last couple of years.
Airlines are also stepping up their preparations after last winter's cascade of delays and cancellations, increasing staffing and training, and investing in new weather forecast technology and de-icing equipment. AAA is also expecting a lot of traffic on the nation's highways, predicting more than 100 million Americans will drive to their holiday destination. They say the middle of the day is the worst time to get going.
We always say leave early or leave late.
Monday may not be a great day to travel, with a major storm headed up the East Coast that could cause disruptions. As always, check with your airline carrier to monitor any potential delays and give yourself plenty of time to get through security. In Atlanta, Madison Scarpino, Fox News.
Coming up, mortgage rates are dropping. We'll take a look at what this means for home buyers in 2024. The Federal Reserve leaves interest rates unchanged for the third straight time, which means better days could be in store for home buyers. Fox's Jesse Gray has more on what this likely means moving forward.
So we are seeing a significant drop. Have I seen an impact in the market? I'm definitely getting the buzz.
Mortgage lender Fifth Gobadian says the past week has been one to remember. The average lending rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage has gone down from near 8% to just above 7%. That decrease, roughly 1%, means it's cheaper for people to buy homes or refinance an existing mortgage. For a Bay Area resident borrowing $800,000 to make a $1 million purchase, the difference would mean a $400 a month saving on their mortgage payment.
I'm getting clients who are calling. I'm definitely having agents getting invigorated and excited about the fact that things are going in the right direction.
Inflation has eased from its highs.
Wednesday, the economy steward, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell, saying the worst of the storm is over. For the third time this year, the Fed declined to increase the rate banks charge each other to lend money. And Powell says there could be as many as 3 rate cuts next year.
I want to assure the American people that we're fully committed to returning inflation to our 2% goal.
Experts say such sweet talk is tickling the ears of would-be buyers. There's been a surge in mortgage applications over the past week, up 7.4%. Still, some real estate agents say it's a long leap from applications to sold signs, especially for Santa Clara County residents who face extremely tight inventory and a $1.8 million median price tag.
We've only seen a really minor increase in activity over the past 30 days. I wouldn't call it significant yet. And I think that may be because of downward pressure from the holiday season. I think as we get out of this holiday season and start to head into the new year, I'm definitely looking forward to having a really strong spring buying market.
Millions of loan borrowers making restarts on their student loan payments weren't up to speed and being on time this fall. The U.S. Department of Education says its data shows that 60% of 22 million student loan borrowers who had payments due in October made them by mid-November. 4 million of those borrowers owed repayments for the first time. Congress ended a 3-year pause on payments caused by the pandemic in June. It's a day to celebrate this food's rich and sweet flavor. Up next. Well, here's a perfect excuse to have some French toast or a sweet topping on your ice cream. Today is National Maple Syrup Day. It's made by taking the sap of a sugar maple tree, then it's boiled to remove water, and is officially maple syrup once the liquid is 2/3 sugar. Aside from pouring some on your waffles, you can also use syrup to glaze meats for baking and to add flavor to a sauce. Well, 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. And coming up, GOP primaries are just around the corner. We'll take a look at the latest polls. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he's being told information about UFOs is being withheld from Congress. A bid for more transparency on the matter failed to make it into the annual defense policy bill. Fox News senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram has more from Capitol Hill.
One of the most powerful figures in Washington doesn't believe what his own government says about unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs once called UFOs.
We've also been notified by multiple credible sources that information on UAPs has also been withheld from Congress, which, if true, is a violation of the laws requiring full notification to the legislative branch.
The truth may be out there, but you won't find it in the annual defense bill. The intelligence community nixed provisions to declassify what the government knows about the unknown.
100%. They just gutted it. The gloves are off, man.
UAP whistleblower David Grush testified in July that the government is hiding what could be alien remains.
Do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
Biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human.
That's why bipartisan lawmakers demanded the government declassify information on UAPs.
They were kept out with really the veto of the House Intelligence Committee, and that only breeds more concern.
Intelligence experts say there are lots of reasons the government safeguards some secrets, UAPs could be proprietary U.S. technology, which officials don't want revealed to the public or the country's adversaries.
That, unfortunately, is the nature of espionage. And, you got to hold some of those cards back.
The bill does permit the release of UAP documents a quarter century after their creation, but the president could withhold some information, citing national security. On Capitol Hill, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas was on Capitol Hill again today, meeting with lawmakers to discuss a funding package for Ukraine. The Senate has been negotiating a supplemental aid package for both Ukraine and Israel, but there's been a big roadblock to reaching consensus. Republicans in Congress have been steadfast in their insistence any agreement on aid to Ukraine and Israel must be tied to improving security at the nation's southwest border. Former President Trump maintains his considerable lead on his competitors, though he's drawing criticism this weekend for some remarks on the campaign trail about immigrants. Fox News correspondent Mark Meredith has the latest.
New Fox News polling shows former President Trump dominating among the Republican field and leading President Biden in a hypothetical rematch. Our new survey out today showing Trump would beat Biden by 4 points. Trump was in New Hampshire on Saturday. He had a lot to say about President Biden, his Republican competition, but it was comments on immigration, which are generating fierce pushback from Democrats.
When they let, I think the real number is 15, 16 million people into our country. When they do that, we got a lot of work to do. They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done.
The Biden-Harris campaign putting out a statement afterwards saying he is betting he can win this election by scaring and dividing this country. He's wrong. In 2020, Americans chose President Biden's vision of hope and unity over Trump's vision of fear and division, and they'll do the same next November. This weekend, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, he's in Iowa barnstorming the state. Even as one of his most notable operatives, strategist Jeff Rowe announced he's leaving a DeSantis-aligned super PAC, and it's one of the many staff shakeups we've seen rattling the DeSantis operation in recent weeks. As for former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, she heads to Iowa tonight after securing a major endorsement from New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu. And we heard from Governor Sununu today, and he says he believes that Haley is actually doing much better than the polls suggest.
It's an absolute win. No, it's a win and a reset button. If everyone that could vote in the primary comes out and votes, not only she's going to win in a landslide, and that's not an exaggeration.
This weekend, we're also hearing from former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. He's now going after Nikki Haley right here in New Hampshire. He says he believes Haley is enabling Trump because she's been less openly critical of the former president. In Hampton Falls, New Hampshire, Mark Meredith, Fox News.
Still ahead, a look into a hidden gem just off of Route 66.
Good evening, everyone. I've been tracking the days that we have left until Christmas, and we are now just 8 days away. So getting closer and closer. I hope you are all excited just like I am. Right now, our winds are still reporting calm in the southern half of our region. Winds are up to close to 10 miles per hour in the northern half of our region, but winds are expected to get even stronger over the coming hours as we're going to get a little bit gusty with colder air surging in over the next several hours as well. So if you're baking any cookies tonight, hanging out with family, friends, temperatures are going to be down in the 40s, dropping down to the 30s as well. And we're going to be a bit cooler tomorrow than we were today. Let's talk about how gusty those winds will be over the next couple hours. By 10 o'clock, still not looking at much of an impact, but as we move into the overnight hours, look at this. 5 o'clock, you can see the red, that's representing stronger wind gusts up to 35 miles per hour in Yates Center, Iola, overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. That will move throughout the rest of the region as we move throughout the early morning hours tomorrow. But then look, as soon as we hit lunchtime, we're not looking too bad, but it will feel cool out there. Any wind on top of cool temperatures makes it feel downright chilly out there. So our temperatures tomorrow are going to be in the 40s. Adding on these winds could feel more like the 30s out there as far as the wind chill temperatures go. By the end of your day tomorrow, the winds will return to calm. So sure, it will feel a bit brisk out there, but the good news is the cool temperatures aren't going to last very long, just for tomorrow. So as you can see, temperatures will be in the 30s to start your day off. Then they will warm up into the 40s, low 40s that is, compared to the high 50s we saw today. It was really not too bad across the 4-state area. Now, I did want to give you another look at your Christmas Eve and Christmas Day forecast. For Christmas Eve, things are still looking pretty good. 60 as your high with a 20% chance of rain. So Santa, he might get a little bit damp as he's dropping off all the presents across the 4 states. For Christmas Day, looking a bit cooler, so definitely a big temperature drop between those 2 days. Rain chances on the lower side. So I'll tell you one thing. It's not going to be a white Christmas, but hopefully it's not going to be a very wet one either. Now your next several days looks like this, with cool temperatures just lasting for tomorrow. As you can see, we're going to warm up very quickly for Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday back in the upper 50s. Rain chances really increase Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then as we look into this upcoming weekend, there you go, Christmas Eve. We are going to be drying out from all that rain we'll have over the end of this upcoming week. And then by Christmas Day, not too bad, but temperatures on the cool side for Monday and Tuesday of next week.
All right, thanks, Katie. Well, to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Coming up in sports, Major League Baseball catcher James McCann visits Pittsburgh to give lessons to young ball players. Plus, the Kansas City Chiefs look to get back on track in their game against New England. Highlights from the game and more up next.
Last Sunday, the Kansas City Chiefs lost their second straight game to the Buffalo Bills, and after, well, $150,000 worth of fines later, the Chiefs now turns towards the New England Patriots. Chiefs versus Patriots in Foxborough. Kansas City has won 2 of the last 3 games against the Patriots on the road. So in the first quarter, no score. Mahomes is lined up at fullback, and Jerick McKinnon takes the snap and flips it over to Rashee Rice. He is in the end zone. Kansas City takes a 7-0 lead. So in the second quarter now, Patriots looking to respond. Bailey Zappi, he's going to go over to Hunter Henry, who's wide open for the score. Patriots tie things up in this ball game. It's now 7-7. Under a minute left in the first half, New England leads 10-7. Patrick Mahomes throws a nice easy pass to Jerick McKinnon to get across the goal line. He is in. Kansas City takes a 17-10 lead into halftime. So in the third quarter, Mahomes is just trying to escape here. Floats it up to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and what a catch. How about CEH in this game? Kansas City gets back on track as they get back in the win column to go on to beat the Patriots 27-17.
When you're as close as the AFC is right now, wins are hard to get, and you better enjoy each one, and they're very important. And so this one, no different than that because of the situation.
I think I'm always in this focus when I'm playing against Coach Belichick, because I know how many different schemes he's gonna put out there and how great of a coach he is. Obviously, trying to focus on the details as much as possible, and you want to get as many tells as you can. But in an important game, we needed to win, and so I was glad with how the guys responded, and we were able to find a way to win against a really good team.
Well, a special guest visits the world-class sports indoor baseball facility in Pittsburgh this evening. Young players get a chance to receive lessons from current major leaguer and Baltimore Orioles catcher James McCann. McCann is here on a hunting trip, actually, and both he and one of his good friends, Zach Cox, who you might remember as both former Arkansas Razorback baseball players, they decided to stop by and provide some hitting and catching lessons to youth baseball players in the southeast Kansas area. McCann says he wants to pass on information to young players and to use his platform to give back to the youth.
Yeah, so my friend Zach and I, we've been down here hunting, and he does lessons for back home where he lives in Arkansas, and he has a relationship with a few people here, and just getting to come here and share a little bit of knowledge with kids. I would have given anything to have that as a young kid. So I do think it's part of my duty to use my platform to give back to the youth and just spread that knowledge.
Well, it didn't take long, but Pittsburgh State wide receiver Colby announced his plans to enter the transfer portal on Monday. And 6 days later, he's found a new team to play with next season. The former Pitt State wide receiver is on his way to join former Pitt State head coach Brian Wright and his staff at Northern Arizona University. Katzis is the former MIAA Freshman of the Year from the 2022 season. This past season, Katzis had 655 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns. Katzis still has 2 years of eligibility remaining. So I think that's something a lot of PSU fans can expect. You know, maybe some players moving around, but there's one. Katzis on his way to join Wright at Northern Arizona.
I think to say that next year's Pitt State season is shooken up is a bit of an understatement with everything that's gone on in the past few weeks.
Yeah, definitely. And also a couple of other notes, K-State and Mizzou hoops both lost today. Mizzou and Kansas City, and K-State losing Nebraska. Didn't see that one coming.
I gotta say that I always do.
I think KU
just a
fans
little bit
could
of
care
hope
less.
in my heart
I think KU fans could care less. But yeah, you know, lots of good sports action happening today.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Chiefs are finally back on track too.
Back on track, and they will be home on Christmas Day against the Raiders. So looking forward to that.
Looking forward to that one as well. All right, thanks, Brock. We'll be right back with more news. Just a few miles northeast of Carthage and right off Route 66, you'll find a hidden gem called Red Oak 2. Some call it an art project, others call it a historical preservation. But for the 8 residents who live there, it's home. KOAM's Tanya Bach takes us there.
Any time of day, especially on a weekend, I'll just go outside and there might be 20 people just in my yard taking pictures, hanging out, enjoying Route 66, just taking the tour.
Jeremy Morris was traveling Route 66 himself 12 years ago when he met the creator of Red Oak 2, artist Lowell Davis.
And I talked to him on the porch, found out that people actually live here, which surprised me. And I thought if anything ever comes available, I may buy a house here.
Today, Morris lives at Red Oak 2 in a late 19th century home originally built in Carthage. It's dubbed the Parsonage, simply because it's next to Davis's working church, where there are music jams on Saturday nights and a service every Sunday. Red Oak 2 is actually a sequel community, about 20 minutes west of the original Red Oak. This cemetery, a church, and a few homes are all that really remains of Red Oak, Missouri, the childhood home of Lowell Davis. It used to be a thriving community along Route 66, but after World War II, its residents moved away, basically becoming a ghost town. A fate Mr. Davis was not willing to accept.
So Lowell decided to, at some point, when he made money off his farm figurines, basically, let's start moving these buildings to my property. I have a whole cornfield that I don't use because I'm not a real farmer, and let's make a farm, let's make a town, and I'll recreate from memory what my town was like, but better.
Memories like growing up in the back of his father's general store and attending school in a one-room schoolhouse and outhouses.
Back here is one of our 12 outhouses. This is where Lowell used to keep all his civic awards.
The current feed and seed store was the first building Davis moved from Red Oak to Red Oak 2 in 1987.
They would cut some of these buildings in half and move them in the middle of the night on the streets. And then some buildings, like the log cabins, were moved log by log, sometimes numbered.
Davis also found and moved a number of historical buildings, including this 1850s Civil War home from White Oak, Missouri, and the Clinging Smith cabin that Davis found in a field in La Russell, Missouri.
This is an 1850s cabin. The original wall, south wall, ended right here, made of hand-hewn logs.
Davis passed away 3 years ago, but before he did, he made Morris and the other residents promise him one thing.
He told me before he passed, he said, keep it art. Doesn't have to be my art, but I want it to be art.
A request to take the baton and continue building Red Oak 2 in the spirit and legacy of Lowell Davis. Reporting along Route 66, Tanya Bach, KOAM News.
The residents are making big plans for the Red Oak train station this spring. They're adding a locomotive with a wood tender, flat car, and caboose, and smaller train sets for families to enjoy inside the station. Up next, a sweet experience is now in theaters. We'll take a look at the new movie, Wonka. The highly anticipated movie Wonka came out this weekend, and candy and chocolate play a big role. The cast tells Fox News Edge entertainment reporter Ashley Dvorkin about the sweet experience of working on a candy-filled set.
My name is Willy Wonka.
The new film Wonka explores the young chocolatier's dream of opening his own chocolate shop.
I'm making chocolate, of course.
When people watched the original, and as they likely will when they see the new prequel, viewers put themselves in a world of pure imagination, with many wondering what tempting treats the actors could actually taste on set.
Everything that is eaten in the movie is absolutely edible.
The flowers, the cups, all of that chocolate's real.
Something actor Keegan-Michael Key says was not the case in Gene Wilder's 1971 version.
I read something recently that Gene Wilder had wax teacups that he bit into, and so it wasn't even chocolate.
No.
It's him chewing the cup, and it's you guys, and I'm realizing that he had to interminably eat wax or chew wax, and then you guys got to eat real chocolate.
And a lot of it. Wonka had a chocolatier on set who worked for about 6 months handcrafting confections.
Who's for a Hoverchuck? Ooh, that's a chocolate that makes it fly!
Timothy Chalamet, who plays young Wonka, weighs in on the most scrumptious sweets during filming.
The Hoverchuck was delicious. That was particularly delicious. Didn't make it fly, though.
And all this chocolate chat begs the question, which candy do the actors turn to when they go to the movies?
I'll take some peanut M&Ms and I'll put it in popcorn. Have a little sweet and salty together.
I like a nice Crunch Bar. I like those little crunch ones. And I also like Twisters.
In a recent USA Today ranking of movie theater snacks, candy came in third behind popcorn and the snack you brought from home. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with a video of bat-eared foxes playing in the sand at a zoo in Knoxville. We'll see you back here next time. Thanks for making us part of your night.